Court just underway, where we're about to get our first appearance of the accused mass Cleveland shooter there over the weekend on West 6th, the newest mugshot for Jalen Jennings. He is going to be facing 9 counts of attempted murder for that early Sunday morning rampage that took place in the Warehouse District. Let's take you live into court. With this being the first appearance, we may hear it may get a little mundane. The judge has to read out quite a few instructions, and in fact, as we look at the other screen, we believe that Jalen Jennings will be making his appearance via video.
Again?
Oh, you already did already? Oh, okay.
And I don't believe we see Jalen Jennings in the jail, so we will stay with you here. This all the way around has a little bit of a different feel. Normally, when the Court of Common Pleas has initial appearances, normally the courtroom is full of other individuals who are hearing their reading for the first time, what they're accused of, putting in an initial plea. Obviously, 90% of the time it is not guilty, and it looks like he is, in fact, now in front of the camera in the jail. Let's take you live.
Charged with, the first case is charged with discharge of firearm in a prohibited premises. First case. Charged with carry weapons. Third case. Charged with weapons under disability. Fourth case is attempted murder. Fourth case, attempted murder. Fifth case, attempted murder. Everything else is attempted murder, Your Honor. He is demanding a preliminary hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. It will be July 21st.
All right. Wish to be heard.
I do, Your Honor. Good morning. On behalf of the state of Ohio, we'll be asking for at least a total of $1 million bond in this case. The defendant allegedly, while on bond in Lorraine County, was in the West 6 area in the early hours this Sunday, a couple streets away from here, and allegedly shot a 9mm firearm into a group, injuring 9 people. This defendant, he's a 5 and a 6 in his risk assessment. He has 3 open cases in Lorraine County, has a criminal history in Lorraine County as well, and 3 failures to appear that 2 of those are within the last 2 years. No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jennings, he has no violent convictions. He does have some felony possession charges. He's a lifelong resident of Lorraine. His family lives here. He's currently unemployed, and respectfully request a reasonable bond in this case, Your Honor.
Was this random or targeted? Do you know?
I don't have any more information, Your Honor.
All right. It will be $1 million on each attempted murder. No wonder this says just murder. Is it?
No, that was a clerical error.
Oh.
They might need to change what they use.
Oh, okay. Do we need to amend this like right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
So we should have,
how do we correct that?
the code should be 2923.02A in parentheses.
2923.02A,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that makes all of these attempted murder. Okay. Ooh, so much paperwork.
I'm trying to keep this up here.
I think I messed it up. Okay, it'll be $1 million as it relates to Colby Martin, $1 million as it relates to Christopher Tevis, $1 million as it relates to Charles Lewis Jr., $1 million as it relates to Jamar Pinnock, $1 million as it relates to Kiana Sabri, $1 million as it relates to Kamil Kazmarek, $1 million as it relates to Sierra Maderi, $1 million as it relates to Henry Smith, and $1 million as it relates to Malik Aguanica. And that's 1 million cash or surety.
And then on the first three, Your Honor, personal bond.
And the first three, you can have a personal bond on those. You have the right to remain silent, Mr. Jennings. But if you want to say something, I'm sure your attorney would advise against it, but what did you want to say?
I'm just trying to understand.
Don't talk about the facts of the case.
I'm reading all this. Listen, I'm reading all this stuff. There's nothing making no
Mr.
sense.
Jennings.
Right.
Mr. Jennings, don't talk about the facts of the case. Remain silent, don't say anything, Mr. Jennings.
Man, this is man, this is, we're talking about me sitting in jail or nothing. Like, this is a trial. Like, man, what do you mean with man? Where's the facts? Where is me doing it?
Mr.
That's what I'm saying.
Jennings.
Where's the facts? I'm sitting in jail.
Mr. Jennings, remain silent.
All right. This is crazy to me. Like, are we done?
Okay, all 9 of those counts have been amended with the addition of the 23.02A
Thank you.
statute.
Whatever, man.
And just to make sure for the record, Your Honor, you're incorporating the attempt statute with each count.
Correct.
Thank you.
I'm just adding 2923.02A
Thank you, Your Honor.
on all those, each of those 9 counts.
I understand whatever y'all got going on, speaking or whatever. I understand I need to put somebody on whatever, but I feel like I'm being accused of this and is literally blowing me right now. Like,
Mr. Jennings, now's not the time. Just remain silent right now, sir. That's my advice to you.
that's like, I don't know if they do whatever me or not without me, man. I ain't gonna check my own way. I never got the option to take off my own way with her, man. Working with love.
I put 17, 721. Okay, you have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July 21st. That's a probable cause hearing.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got them all. I got it. Yeah, that was good. Okay, anything else?
And, Your Honor, just for the record, we rejected the bond amount.
Okay, so noted.
All right, sir, you got $1 million bond cash surety, sir. You can step out. Mr. Brown, can you bring me Mr. Cruz next, please?
Yes, sir.
Dan DeRose with 19 News. As you see, Jalen Jennings being led back to jail. Not happy at all with his bond set at $9 million. I'm going to be honest, in my 20-plus year career, that is one of the highest bonds I've ever heard of. We did some quick research here. The Anthony Sowell bond, of course, he was the Cleveland Strangler, the serial killer. His original bond was set at $5 million, increased to $6 million. And that was for somebody who killed 11 women. And here you have an individual who's just facing 9 attempted murder charges, and his bond set at $9 million. The court-appointed attorney asked for a reasonable bond. The judge wanted nothing to do with that request. The case was made by the state that this man has 3 open cases in Lorain and 3 failures to appear in court. I think that's why you saw the reaction out of Jennings, is that those cases in Lorain, yes, granted they're for possession of marijuana, distribution of marijuana charges, and in Lorain he was getting low bonds. He would get out and then never show up again. Those are the 3 failures to appear. So the state trying to make their case that this man is definitely a flight risk, a risk to ever show back up, so setting any kind of reasonable bond may see Jennings somehow get out and take off. So the judge made sure that that was not going to be the case here, a $9 million bond. Again, a little shocked from this journalist, because that is one of the highest bonds I've ever heard of in covering mass murderers, serial killers, cold-blooded killers in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, but yet he gets a $9 million bond. We will have a complete wrap-up on this, as well as what is the city doing, what are the next steps for the city, what are the solutions to this city's crime problem and the ever-growing problem of shootings, guns rampant on our streets. We'll be looking and asking the city for what their solutions are. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be right here on our digital channels. Otherwise, our 11 o'clock news on CW43 and our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now. Have a good afternoon.